So in this issue, Bobby ditches his new boyfriend for the right reasons and yet still comes off as an asshole. I know what you're thinking. Why don't you just accept that Sina Grace's version of Iceman is a complete douche? No, I won't. We deserve better. And we kinda get it. This issue isn't bad as long as you ignore the cringy intro and silly dialogue. Nathan Stockman's art is pretty good in this issue. I'm loving the action scenes, they flow really well. He's good at drawing faces and expressions. The cover art, I'm not digging. I don't know why it's not working for me, but it just isn't. As for the story, it opens up with Bobby on the date saying, "You really expect me to put my hands on that?" And the date says, "Don't judge by appearance." Gay joke that turns into a food joke, because what SJW book would be complete without mentioning food? That turns back into a gay joke. Dude, we know Gene turned Bobby gay. Can we move on? Here's a better question though. Why is he on another date? This is this weird trend I've noticed with gay characters in far left stories. They've always got partners or go on dates. Real people are not like this. Plenty of people don't go on constant dates or always have relationships. Give them a break. Let them be a normal person for a while. The reason I think this is so important is because it forced a writer to have Bobby do something else other than make his entire existence about his sexuality. Bobby and his date Carlos are at this food festival because of course they are. And we see that Mary Jane and Peter Parker are there as well, talking like they've never talked before. It's just bad. You know what? Let me give you a taste. MJ is like, "I know you're just filling air with banter, Tiger. But truth-wise, I love this chapter we're in. We're both being honest and leaning on each other, and it's..." And Peter's like, "Better than before?" Yeah. God, it's like reading Lucas's script from episode 2. And it gets worse, but I'm gonna spare you. MJ spots Angelica Jones, aka Firestar, and Angie's having terrible first date where the cringe actually worked because these two are not vibing. The irony is that the dialogue sounds the same as with the couples who are supposed to like each other. So then we get this extra cringy moment where Carlos admits to scoping out Bobby's pic on social media to prove that he's not getting catfished. And then there's this bit that just pissed me off. Carlos asks if Bobby's parents are gonna go to the Mutant Pride Parade, and Bobby says, they're not as progressive as I'd like them to be. Dude, your dad ended up in the hospital for protecting mutants. That was like 2 years ago your time. What the fuck are you talking about? Sina Grace, do me a favor. Read a fucking X-Men book. Jesus Christ. The shit drives me up a fucking wall. His parents are not the bigots you want them to be. Then we get this really just cringe. I'm just gonna read it. Carlos says, "It's just beautiful that people can find new ways to love each other, no matter how many decades in." And Bobby's like, "There's something about this chat, or watching you eat corn out of a cup. Whatever it is, I just really want to kiss you right now." Carlos is like, "I wish you would." And I'm like, "I really wish you wouldn't." He's got corn in his mouth. Why do you find that sexy? You know, on a second thought, I really don't want to know. Nope. Don't want to know. Moving on, just like that corn will. They get attacked in the middle of the kiss. This is where the book actually picks up if you ignore the stupid jokes. Just look at the pictures and ignore all the one-liners and you'll be fine. This ice monster starts rampaging through the fair and Iceman and Firestar try to take him out. Carlos, in a moment of true stupidity, runs out with his phone to record the fight. How have you survived in New York City this long and you don't know not to run your dumb ass into the street? Just kill him right now. Spidey saves him though, and the trio get their asses handed to them by the ice giant. Bobby notices that there's this device on the thing's mouth, and so the group attacks the ice giant and pulls the device free. We find out that the guy inside is actually the missing Morlock from the first issue. I know, you totally forgot they existed because the last issue had fuck all to do with them. And it's only been one issue, just one issue, totally down the memory hole. I'm guessing this must have been a point where Marvel told Grace that it wasn't going to be an ongoing series but just a mini-series, and his plan for long-winded stories that add nothing to the character while making you hate him more just went right out the window. So now we gotta go back to the story that started it all, which is that Mr. Sinister is using the Morlocks to apparently get his hands on Iceman. So the Morlock gets arrested, which surprises Iceman. Oddly enough, Spidey and Firestar are just fine, cause they're not assholes. Unlike Bobby, who notices his date is taking a selfie with Bobby looking, quote, truly heroic with the sun hitting his ice. Probably meant ass, but it says ice. And Bobby's like, Carlos, are you kidding me? And Carlos goes, what? Oh, did you want me to tag you on social? Okay, that's actually funny. Here's the thing. Bobby dumps him. Here's how this plays out. Firestar says that she got turned down in a text by a guy she wasn't vibing with. To which Spidey says, brutal. Men are pigs. I thought your name was Spider-Man. Didn't know I was going to need to check your ass for feathers. And then Bobby goes, I just had to do that to my date. You texted him to dump him. Firestar didn't do that. She got dumped in the text, and Spidey basically said that was a dick move. So you're admitting you're a dick. And even Firestar's like, why? He seemed cute and into you. And Bobby's like, it's never okay to jump into the fray for a selfie. Dude, you brought your previous boyfriend to 3 goddamn fights and damn near got him killed in every fight. Then you dumped him when he said he wanted a break after literally getting boned by Dakin. So now you've got a problem? It's okay for you to put your dates in danger, but it's not okay for them to do what half the population would do if a fucking monster showed up in the middle of the street? And then he goes, civilians don't get it. Mutants are complicated. Oh my god, you're an asshole. Such an asshole. Every mutant isn't an X-Man, and every X-Man isn't running around getting into fights every time they appear in public. Did you ever think that maybe it's not that mutants are complicated? Maybe it's just you're an asshole? So Spidey speaks truth to power and says that it's basically hard for people to live with heroes because of all the drama that comes with their lives. You'd think Bobby would know this just from the scandalous shit that happened with Scott and Jean and Madeline and Emma. Maybe what happened with Kitty and Piotr. Maybe that shit that goes down with the Fantastic Four. But no, the dude is oblivious, completely oblivious to other people existing in the world. My god, he's so unlikable. It's like Cena Grace took every shitty person on Twitter and put them into one body. I call it stuffing a mags. So the issue ends with Bobby getting chewed out by the Morlock's leader Maiden for Sinister using her brother to get to Bobby. And Bobby's big idea to deal with the situation is to break her brother out of prison. Or as Grace is probably thinking, Bobby gets another chance to find a new boyfriend. This book is still a chore, just a chore to read. It ironically does work when you take away the gay characters and stupid dialogue, but it's really pointless. I mean, there's nothing going on here that remotely seems to matter. No major character development, no apparent bigger connection to the X-Men universe. It's just a book in print to be in print. And that's a shame because it really should have some promise of being interesting. I keep thinking about that older Iceman miniseries from the early 2000s when he found out that he's got a son who's been kidnapped. We go through this entire story where he tries to rescue the kid only to find out it was a lie just to get Iceman's help. But he's like, I knew he wasn't my kid, but I would have helped raise him anyway. So ultimately, that story doesn't matter, but at least gave us an interesting look into Bobby's character and what he's willing to do for the women he loves. But this one, not so much. Just nothing there of any substance that seems to matter on any level. It's kind of like they just printed the book to spite a group of people who didn't like the book. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.